Hello and welcome back to the Pixel Street Podcast. This is episode 233 of the show. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Joel Campos, and joining me is the man who uh I got nothing. Oh, cannot wait to play Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 in 3 years probably.
Yeah, whenever that comes out, they
John
just
Hansen.
finished
John Hansen's
they
your name.
just finished shooting on that. That's crazy. Before we get started here, I just want to give a big fuck you to Gamers Group. Um, if you don't know, that's the company that laid me off in March. Laid off dozens and dozens of people in March because we just weren't doing good enough. And then today there was a job posting that they're trying to get an AI editor to put out 200 to 250
What?
articles per week. Yeah, so everyone has just been giving them a big fuck you today, and that's the appropriate
That's
response.
yeah, that's the response they deserve.
Yeah. This
Dude,
doesn't go. This doesn't
so
real quick. This doesn't go to the writers or the editors. This is the higher ups that deserve the fuck yous. Like they are completely fucking everyone over. I've got friends that I still keep in contact with. They woke. One of them lives in India, and he woke up at 3 in the morning for him. Because he was getting so many Twitter notifications of people like saying, "Yo, what the fuck," and he had no idea. Uh, no one had talked to any of the people at the websites. It was all just higher ups doing this.
That's
So
crazy. I can't wait until they start putting articles out and people just start criticizing every single AI article that gets put out.
yeah,
You know, because like AI, yeah, it's good for things, but like there's gonna be a lot of errors in that, no matter what they do.
it's not even just errors. It's just plagiarizing and just
Yeah,
all this stuff. And it's just taking resources and like good work away from people that deserve it. So completely fucked up that they're doing it. Um, yeah, that entire company has just gone batshit insane and lost all integrity to me.
I
And
like how I think you started
fuck
by
'em.
saying I want to give a shout out to the gamer group, and then you just shit on them.
Yeah, yeah, just a big fuck you to them.
I guess shout outs can be for good or bad, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess I never thought
And,
of it
hey,
being for a bad thing.
a
It's
shout
like
out is like drawing attention to someone, right?
yeah, I guess, but in
Yeah,
most contexts, it's about a good
it's
thing, right?
good, but no, this one is
It'd be
this is
like
bad.
if you won the World Series, John, and you had a mic in front of you, you're like, "Hey, quick shout out to Gamer Group, fuck them," and everybody'd be like, "What the
Nope.
fuck?"
Yeah, this is the happiest day of my life. Fuck the gamers group.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
But
we're
in
starting
all
off
seriousness, eat
off
a dick.
hot and heavy here. Hot and heavy here. John's heated.
Yeah, I
I
am.
mean, you can't see it at home, but right before we went live, John ripped off both of those Legend of Zelda posters off his wall and punched two holes behind them, and then hung
Oh
them
yeah.
back up.
hmm it really sucks because I can't take them with me now, or my landlord would see it. They're just stuck there forever.
Going back to our shitty apartment conversation from last
Yep.
week,
Yep.
they're just gonna paint over them
Yep.
when you move out. They're just gonna
Yep.
paint white
I'm
over
gonna
the two
paint over.
posters.
I'm gonna paint over him and just hope they don't notice.
Well, anyway, this is the Pixel Street Podcast, where each and every week we get together and talk about video games. You can follow us on Twitter by searching at Pixel Street over there. Check out our pinned tweet, where you can find links to all of our social media accounts, including YouTube, youtube.com/Pixel Street Videos, where we stream our shows live each and every week, sometimes early. Like this show's like a day or two early, depending on when we. Sometimes we stream Wednesdays, sometimes Thursdays. But we're doing it on a Tuesday this week because I am going out of town for the
Where are you
rest.
going?
Well, I'm going out of town Thursday, but I got to do a lot of shit to prep tomorrow. I'm going to a music festival in Tennessee called Bonnaroo.
Oh,
So it's
nice.
going to be a long, hot, sweaty camping weekend at a
Hell
music
yeah.
festival. So yeah, I'll probably be posting pictures in the Discord. So join the
Hell yeah.
Discord. That's also in our pinned tweet, an invite link there. Seen a bunch of bands. I'm excited.
I bet.
Um,
I've heard of Bonnaroo. That sounds like a smaller Warped, right? It's only a one city show,
mhm.
right? It doesn't like go
Yeah,
anywhere
it's
else.
like like it's like Lollapalooza almost, where it's just one
There we
big
go.
festival at one, or like a
Yeah,
Coachella.
gotcha.
But yeah, it's gonna be fun. My birthday's on Friday too, so it'll be even more fun.
Ooh,
Ooh man, I ate pizza before this, and I am burping like crazy. But yeah, this week we're gonna be talking a lot about the Xbox Game Showcase, the Ubisoft Forward, and Capcom said stuff on a screen.
they
So,
they showed up, and they really shouldn't have.
and that's all we're gonna say about it. We're not gonna touch
Yeah,
on it at all anymore. They showed up
no,
for E3 season.
not E3 season.
Yeah. Quick question, John. How
Mhm.
long do you think? So is E3 is not officially dead, right? Like they still said they're gonna do a show next year,
Yeah,
and that's the last thing we heard.
but
Let's say,
real quick, they also said that last year about this
yeah.
year. So
Okay. Okay. Let's assume. Um. Okay. Sorry, I just got a text. Let's assume that sometime between now and next June or May, April, whatever, they come out and they say, "All right, E3 is dead. We're no longer gonna hold the event. You know, blah blah blah. We're very sorry to see it go." How many years after that do you think every summer people reference E3 still in terms of like the announcement of games?
I would say a few.
And and like I'm not meaning like everybody's like, "Oh, it's E3," right? Even though it's Summer Game Fest or
Hmm.
I mean, Summer Game Fest is such a cop out to me and we've talked about this before cuz like Jeff Keighley just puts on his one show Summer Game Fest and he
Yeah,
tries to make it a giant umbrella of every gaming announcement in the month of June.
like it's all
And
his, but it's not.
yeah, and that's
Yeah.
not the case at all. So that's
Hmm.
aggravating in its own. But I mean, we got to call the season something, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I see E3 season like staying around in terms of like the way it's called, like because people aren't gonna be able to shake it for a long time.
If anything, I would be curious if at some point, if like someone else just tries to take the E3 name, like if they just try and buy it or something. I don't know what the situation is with all of that.
Full circle,
Um,
John. Jeff Keighley buys the
E3,
IP that is E3.
yeah,
I don't think he would ever do that, but that'd be
no,
hilarious.
no, it would be really interesting to just like go back and see all of his tweets dunking on E3. Um, yeah, I just don't. I think E3, just like people calling it E3, I think that's too ingrained in gamer culture for summertime around this time of the year. So I think it would stay at least for a few years until Summer Game Fest like actually has an event that is big enough to rival E3 when it was at its height. You know what I mean? Uh, like this year's show wasn't bad, but it comparing that to the E3s that you and I will think of, like all of our favorite memories, doesn't have the same kind of push there. I think.
Yeah, like if you think like 5, 6 years ago, E3 for us was like a bucket list item to go to, right? Like
Yeah,
just to attend an E3 was a bucket list thing. And now, like, Summer Game Fest is not at that status, at least not yet, right? Like, it
no,
could get there one day. But right
yeah,
now, it very much seems like, game journalists go there and they just play some of the very, like, I don't want to say low tier games, but in terms of like what everybody's hyped for, like that's what they're playing, right? Like they're playing
yeah,
that new Sonic game. They're playing like dude, fuck, I don't know, like DLC coming out for games, like just
yeah,
smaller stuff like that. They're not playing, even though I know a few select people did play Starfield while they were there, but like they're not playing major games like that like they
no,
used to at E3.
not
But
on a large
anyway,
scale.
let's get into it. The Xbox Game Showcase was on Sunday, June 11th, 2023. This is going to be the bulk of our news, just because it was probably the most exciting
Yeah.
thing to happen in the past week.
Before we
First and
get into this stuff,
foremost,
before we get into the actual like content, what did you think of the show overall? Because I thought it was pretty good.
yeah, I thought it was
Was
really good.
wasn't my favorite Xbox showing ever, but I thought it they showed a lot of things that we needed and wanted to see. There were some things that weren't there that we'll get into here in a bit, but I thought it was good.
Compared to every other conference we've seen this E3 season, which is what I'm going to keep calling it because fuck Jeff Keighley. and his fake umbrella. Um, because of everything else we've seen, I feel like it made this Xbox showcase look really fucking good.
Yeah,
Like the
yeah,
PlayStation one showed a bunch of third party games coming to multiple consoles,
hmm
and also Spider Man, which we already knew about, right? It just showed more on that.
yeah.
Um,
Summer
Capcom,
Game Fest was fine. Capcom sucked.
yeah.
um,
Ubisoft showed some cool stuff, but
yeah,
nothing like top tier, I would say, outside of the Star Wars game. But we'll talk about that in a bit. But yeah, I thought this was a really good showcase. It was a lot more than I expected out of Xbox. I think, um, just because like we've been talking for months, like what do they have, like, right? Like we know they have Fable, we know they have Perfect Dark, even though we didn't see it, but there's like. And we knew they had Avowed, we knew about Hellblade, but it's like, what else do they have? And they showed us some more interesting stuff that we didn't even know about, which was really cool. Um, but yeah, you want to just talk about Starfield?
yeah. So we first got a quick trailer for Starfield. I don't think that initial trailer showed much of anything, but then we had the long, about 50 minutes, I want to say, reveal of like a deep dive into the game, and it looks pretty good. It looks big. It looks like there's a lot of different mechanics into it. This is more than just No Man's Sky, but Fallout. You know what I mean? There is more to it.
I
Um,
mean, don't get me wrong. It does look like No Man's Sky and Fallout had a baby, but
mhm,
everything they showed, I watched the whole thing when it was airing, and everything they showed very much makes it seem like you can avoid like the entire No Man's Sky aspect of this game if you want to. Now, I'm
yeah,
sure there's going to be like one or two main quests that require it just because they want to introduce some mechanics and stuff to you. I'm sure there's probably going to be side quests revolving around it, but again, side quests are side quests for a reason, right? You don't have to do them if you don't want to.
yeah. Yeah, like the surveying stuff that like kept popping up in there. That stuff I don't care about. I do not want to go around an alien planet and survey like plants and animals like that. That's the last thing I want to do in a game like this. So seeing that it's there, but I don't really have to do it, that made me a little happy. Um, they showed off a little bit of space combat, if I remember right.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, that looked pretty cool to me. Uh,
I appreciate the space combat and that it doesn't look like it's too flight simmy, right?
mhm,
It looks more arcadey, which I appreciate because flight sim games like they can be fun, but like it can be a handful in terms of controls. You're like, turning the cockpit around and shit. It looks more simple to take down other ships in a dogfight.
yeah, for sure. Um, Other than that, I mean, this does look a lot like a traditional Bethesda game, but it looked good. I mean, there's nothing. I wouldn't say it's my most anticipated game for the rest of the year, but I'm ready to play it whenever it comes out.
Yeah, I mean, this definitely made me a lot more excited for the game watching this Starfield Direct than it was, like last week I said they really have to show me why I need to care about this game. And I
Mhm.
truly think that they did that in this Starfield Direct they held after
Yeah,
the Xbox game showcase.
I was talking with Brandon right after the show, and like we were talking about, I was just like, the thing with a game as big as this is it has to really latch me on to keep me playing it because there's already so many games coming out, man. And if Starfield wants me to stay in it, it has to really latch me on. And I don't think there was really much they could show here for me to be like, yes, I have to put all my time into this. That's just going to be something that once I play it, I have to feel that, I think.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Um, Let's talk about the collector's edition. They showed
Yeah.
off the collector's edition for this game. But Bethesda's no stranger to doing some huge collector's editions, right? Like
hmm
I bought my Fallout 76 helmet and not burlap sack bag that they eventually made right by sending me a burlap sack bag like a year later. Um, they do Pip Boys for Fallout 4, which
I
that's
really
one.
like that one. That one
Yeah,
was
that's
awesome.
one I wish I had gotten. So my Fallout slash Bethesda history is like I've Never really played an Elder Scrolls game. I played Elder Scrolls 5 a little bit, and I've talked about it before. And then my computer completely crashed. I had to reboot everything,
Oh
Windows
boy.
and everything, and I just never went back. I played like 10
Mhm.
hours of it. Um, and then I never played a Fallout game until they announced Fallout 4. And I was like, okay, like I'll play Fallout 3. And I played through all Fallout 3 like the following month. And I was like, cool, this game's awesome. Like I love this game. And then by that point, I it was too late to pre-order that Fallout Pip Boy collector's edition. Also, I was in college, so honestly, I probably wouldn't have been able to afford it at the time anyway. But yeah, that's a really cool collector's edition. But for Starfield, they're doing essentially a smartwatch, which is the same watch you get in the game, which seems to be used for many different purposes in game. And
Mhm.
not the collector's watch does not serve any purpose in game. The watch in the game serves purpose in the game.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's cool. It connects to your phone. It'll give you some phone notifications and stuff. Pretty cool collector's edition. I'm not gonna buy it just because I'm like very addicted to my Apple Watch. I wear it every day, so I'm not really looking to change. But if I didn't have a smartwatch, this would, and I was interested in one, this would probably be a cool one to get. The box that it comes in is fucking sweet too.
Yeah. I don't have a smartwatch. If I had the extra money, I would consider buying this because my first thought when I saw it was that looks really snazzy, and I do want that. It's like $300 for the entire collector's edition, which, considering that it comes with the smartwatch, the game, a steel bookcase, that awesome packaging, like you said, and I think there was something else. I can't remember. Um, I it seemed like not terrible pricing. It $300 is expensive for one game. Don't get me wrong, but for what you got with all the other stuff, it's not as bad as some other collector's editions have been lately. So
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty sweet. The other thing that was announced was the controller that leaked like months ago. At this point, they finally showed that, and they also showed a matching Starfield headset, which I pre-ordered both of because I think that they're really fucking cool looking. The triggers in the controller being see-through is just so fucking cool. I don't
yeah,
know why. I like see-through controllers. I don't know
all right.
why. Literally, like I was looking at my Forza. It's in my living room, but like my Forza Horizon 5 controller, and like it's like half of it is like see-through, right? And I was just
Hmm.
thinking, like, why aren't they just taking our fucking money and just making see-through controllers again? Like they
Right.
would sell so many controllers if they just did it. Like, what are you
That
hiding? You got nothing to hide in that thing.
the '90s were really awesome with that stuff. The
Yeah.
N64 and Game Boy Color. Oh, I love those so much.
But yeah, I
Um,
pre-ordered both controller and headset. They should be here tomorrow. So next week's
awesome.
podcast, I should have them.
Nice. Right. Next up, Fable. This is what what Xbox started its show with. There wasn't really any gameplay shown, but this was all in-engine cutscenes and stuff, and the game looks good. Um, it looks like it still has that Fable. It has the right tone for a Fable game,
The
like
charm.
not the charm. There you go. Yeah, not too serious, lighthearted. Looks like it's going to be a good adventure. I was it was really cool how they like bait and switched us with interviewing the guy, and then it turns out he's a giant. Like that was really cool. I like that. I'm interested to see just how many more cool ideas like that they're going to put into this game. They didn't give us a release date, which was, or a release year even, which was very disappointing. So that makes me think it's probably closer to like 2025. But the I was very happy to see it, and it's still the Xbox game I am looking forward to. That one I have very big expectations for.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely exciting. From what we saw, it looks beautiful, which is
Hmm.
honestly no surprise being a playgrounds game,
Yeah,
playground games game. Um, yeah, it. I think it's gonna be awesome. Obviously, I can't wait to see gameplay though. Like that's the one
yeah,
thing holding me back is if the gameplay looks boring, then that could kind of take me out of it.
yeah. I would think it wouldn't be, but who knows? we can't say anything for sure until we actually see it. Like I can just like go in with the preconception that oh yeah, this is gonna be just like Fable 2 and Fable 3, which I loved. I loved both of those games. But they could change a whole bunch of stuff up for this and just make it worse. But we'll see. I just wish like a little bit of gameplay there would have been cool. But whatever. We'll probably hear about it at next year's E3. Clockwork Revolution was revealed. This is made by In Exile Entertainment. They are the guys that make A Bard's Tale and Wasteland. They're making a first person RPG here that it gives me heavy Bioshock Infinite vibes, and that's a good thing. This was the best surprise of E3 for me. Like, I am so excited for this game. I actually wrote a feature up on GameSandwich.com talking about my hopes for this game and connecting it to Bioshock Infinite. So be sure to go check that out. Yeah, I think this game looks great. Whole just a steampunk city. You can travel back in time and like change how the city looks and the enemies you fight. I think looks very interesting. No, there was very little snippets of gameplay in that trailer for this. There was like an ability to like reverse time on a broken down bridge and like make it reconstruct itself. There was like this thing where they like lifted enemies into the air. So there was definitely a lot of that Bioshock Infinite vibes in here, and I cannot wait to see more on that game.
Yeah, I never played a BioShock game before.
Mm,
But just watching this like towards the middle, I was like, this looks like a BioShock game. Like
hmm
the what is it? Infinite, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I could just tell it kind of looks like a BioShock game. At first, when they first started showing it, I thought maybe it was Outer Worlds, just because graphically it looks similar to Outer Worlds. But then it got way too steampunk, and I was like, no way,
yeah,
this is Outer Worlds too.
no, yeah, um, yeah. Like I said, this was the biggest surprise of E3 for me. I cannot wait to see more on this. They said it's coming out in due time, so that's another one that who knows how long we have to wait for that, but I'm going to be eagerly watching it. Next up, South of Midnight. This one was also just a in engine footage, no gameplay or anything. It kind of seemed to have like a stop motion kind of animation to it, and it's set in like a bayou. Play this woman who's like coming up and talking to this giant zombie guy.
Giants, they were the theme.
Yeah, they really were. Um, this game, the theming on it has me interested. No real idea what gameplay it is. Like all we saw from her is like she like pulled out like a string of magic at the end of it, and that was it. But I really like the vibes of this game. It like really gave me like a Tim Burton stop motion movie kind of feel, and I love that.
Yeah, yeah, the art style has me intrigued, but like other than that, like we don't know enough
Yeah.
of what this game is, right? Like
hmm
who knows what we just don't do we even have a genre? Like what do we know?
I all I know. So this is made by Compulsion Games, the guys that made We Happy Few. All of that I've heard about this like in the past is that it's a single player game, and they expect it to be like a big AAA title. So they're like putting a lot of effort into this. Um, I wish we would have, knowing that, I wish we would have seen more on it, but they caught my interest, and I think that's good enough for a reveal. Next up, we saw Avowed. We saw gameplay for Avowed, and we
We
know that it
did.
is coming out next year. And so we got the teaser for Avowed in like 2021, I want to say. And since then, I have been like, whatever. It looks like just another Skyrim kind of game, but
Still kind of does.
it still does. But there's definitely, I felt this is made by Obsidian, so when I say this, you're gonna be like, duh, but it does have that Outer Worlds feel to it a little bit for me, where maybe it's not like as like Bethesda focused, like really. It looked like there was a little more lightheartedness into it. Maybe I read that wrong, but
I'm not sure.
I liked the way it looked. I'm a lot more interested in this game than I was before I saw this trailer. I thought this trailer looked good.
Yeah, I agree because like when they showed it before, all we really saw was like, oh, okay, they're making an Elder Scrolls game,
Yeah.
right? Like that's basically what it was. This definitely gave us a little more insight in what kind of game this is. Like at one point, we see the dude shooting two guns, right?
Hmm.
So like, there's gonna be some sort of guns in the game. Um, whether that's a major aspect of the game or a minor, who knows? Like, can I just run around with guns the whole time? I doubt
Hmm.
it, but that'd be cool. Like, play it however you want.
It
Um,
wasn't even just that they were guns. They looked like they had magic in them, like you were
yes,
shooting magic through the guns.
yeah,
That looked cool.
yeah. I don't know. I think this could be fun. Do you think this is gonna be like a huge like Skyrim scale game, or do you think it's gonna be smaller scale, more so like Outer Worlds?
I think Outer Worlds. I feel like this was announced just a couple years ago. I feel like Outer Worlds should be the scope. I mean, I don't know if I don't think it's the same team as Obsidian that made Outer Worlds, but it just is giving me a lot of those vibes. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I could
I,
be
I,
wrong.
I hope I hope it's a scale of Outer Worlds because I feel like Outer Worlds was the perfect length of game
It
for me
was. Yeah.
because like it didn't overstay its welcome. You could get in and get out of it. Um, yeah,
Hmm.
I'm hoping so because like Skyrim, that's one thing that turns me off is just like I could spend 20 hours playing through the story, or I could spend 500 hours doing every fucking thing in the game.
Hmm. Yeah. Next up, Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. This time we didn't really see gameplay. We just saw a story moment where she like crawls into this cave and things are all weird and you can hear the voices from the first game talking to her again. Like we didn't know that was gonna be a thing. Um, yeah, I in all honesty, I was kind of disappointed in what they showed for this. They started it off talking with what's her name? Melina Jurgens, I want to say is her
I
name.
don't know her name.
She was talking about it and she said that they just finished up filming for the game, which was insane to me. Like they just finished filming.
Yeah,
But
that's something that maybe they should have left out of
yeah,
the thing. But
yeah. Did we get a release year for did they say next year? I want to say they said next year on this game. I could be wrong.
um, yeah, 2024 is what it says at the end of the trailer.
2024. Cool. Yeah, I was kind of disappointed at what we saw from this. I was like, this doesn't do much to make me more excited for the game. It just shows me all the stuff that was already there in the first game that I expect to be in this game.
Yeah, one thing that was awesome is I was watching on my TV, and I have gotten a Dolby Atmos sound system since the last time I played Hellblade.
Hmm.
And when they were whispering through like each side, there was like they were whispering behind me to the left, they were whispering front left, and then they were whispering front right, and then back to the left, and it creeped the shit out of me. Like,
That's really cool.
and I know I played it with headphones, but like now I feel like I got to go back and at least play some of it with my sound system just because like it's like fully immersive now that I have speakers all around me.
Yeah, that is cool. I played with headphones too, and if you're gonna play the first Hellblade, that's how you gotta play. Unless you
Yeah.
have the surround sound experience that Joel has, obviously. But for like just a normie like me, that is the best experience. But yeah, kind of disappointed in that showing, but it was fine. Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty, we got a pretty big trailer on this. Keanu Reeves came in and was Keanu Reeves. He was Reevesing up the whole place. Um, Saw a little bit of Idris Elba in the gameplay too. It looked fine. Does this do anything for you? Because it didn't really buy me at
It
all.
I mean, it got me kind of excited to try and play through the game finally. I
The
was telling you
base
the other
game.
night, yeah, I re-downloaded the game because I want to try and play it. Now that
Hmm.
it's hopefully like we were talking in Xbox Party Chat, I was like, hopefully it's all fixed by now, and you were like, yeah, I hope so, because like it's very much the kind of game where I feel like it's still probably buggy in some ways. But yeah,
Hmm.
I mean, this got me excited enough to want to play through the main game. Now, whether or not I'll actually pick this up when it comes out is up in the air. It depends on how much I like the main game, but everything about Cyberpunk intrigues me in some way. Like the story, right? Keanu Reeves, the graphics, the whole Cyberpunk world. You know, what is it? Midnight City.
Hmm.
Is that what it's called? Midnight City. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but it's just like it left such a sour taste in my mouth the way the game released, to where it's like, is it even worth my time? Are they worth my time at this point? Like, since I got burned so bad by this game, it's like same situation with No Man's Sky, right?
Hmm.
That game came out, did not meet expectations for most people, myself included, and then they just kept updating it. And then, like, I've gone back to No Man's Sky like 2 or 3 times, and every time I'm just like, man, this is that game that fucked me over.
You're right.
And then I just stopped playing after a few days.
I get it. Last notable game I wanted to talk about from the Xbox showcase was Towerborn. This is made by the Banner Saga trilogy guys, but it's being published by Xbox, so it is an Xbox exclusive. And this seemed to be like a co-op fantasy, like brawler kind of. Not really a brawler, but like a beat 'em up. It was odd. But I was interested in this. I looked at this and I was like, okay, I really like the aesthetic of this game and the co-op aspect of it. Uh, this is another game that I was like, it's caught my interest. I've never played Banner Saga. I've heard good things about it, but this looked really good to me.
It looks kind of interesting. Yeah, the art style is really cool. Co-op
Mhm.
is awesome. What about 33 Immortals, John? Didn't they show that at the Xbox showcase?
Yeah, they did that. I didn't really understand that. So like, are you
33
just?
player co-op? What's not to understand, John?
But like, if if it's only like you and me, like, are we? Is it just gonna be filled with other people, and then okay, it's just like
I
an
don't know.
MMO, pretty much.
I
Like,
have no idea. I have no idea what that game is. I don't know if I have any interest in it cuz like the art style looks kind of like 2D and flat, but I I'll be interested to see what it is.
yeah, that's one that when it comes to Game Pass, I'll give it a try. But it wasn't something that I want to go out of my way to play. Uh, yeah. So the notable no shows this time around, the Indiana Jones game, we've literally not heard a thing about it since Todd Howard said that they were working on it. I want to say 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. Perfect Dark, we talked about that last week. We weren't expecting to see it here. That's a game that we don't expect to see for years. Like, we'll probably see that again in what, 2026 maybe. Like, I have no expectations for that game anymore.
Yeah.
State of Decay 3 was a bit disappointed that this game missed, because this is one of those games that I'm very looking forward to. I love the State of Decay games, but apparently they've been having some development issues, so I guess it's not too surprising. Hold out hope that it will be shown and given a release date next year. Outer Worlds 2, this one's not really surprising with how much Obsidian has put out over the last few years. They've put out, of course, Outer Worlds 1. They're working on Avowed for next year. They put out Grounded. Uh, what was the other game that they did? Um, oh, crap, I'm blanking. There was another game they recently put out. I can't think of it. Whatever. Um, so yeah, I wasn't too worried about Outer Worlds 2 not being there, but I can't wait to see it. Everwild, who the hell knows what's going on with that game? I feel like that was announced in like 2019, 2018, and Rare has just completely stopped talking about it. We got Sea of Thieves though, the Sea of Thieves Monkey Island expansion. That looks really cool. Have you played Monkey Island before, Joel?
No, it doesn't seem like the kind of game that's for me, but I love Sea
Okay.
of Thieves, so I'm definitely down to play this.
Monkey Island is a great point and click series. It's like one of those classic point and click adventure games, and I've played through the first two and the most recent one that they put out last year, I want to say. And I really enjoyed the series. It's one of those series that it is a little too obscure to like go in blind for me. I have to go in with a guide, because just finding the right item to get through will frustrate me. But I'm very excited to like be able to explore that area. That's really cool. And then Contraband, we didn't see. No idea what to even think about that game. So I don't think. we're gonna see much on it for a while, maybe. But yeah, Xbox show was really good. It wasn't like my favorite showing ever, but it was probably my most anticipated and probably my favorite show of the C3.
Yeah, same. I thought it was really good, and I was definitely very excited for it.
Yep.
Let's move on to the Ubisoft Forward that happened Monday, June 12th, 2023. Um, the big hitter that they had, Star Wars Outlaws. We saw this
Which
in
was
Xbox
also shown at
Showcase.
the Xbox showcase, but we saw gameplay at the Ubisoft thing.
We did, and
Uh,
it looks awesome. I'm
it
really
does look
excited
really good.
for it.
Yeah, I am. We've talked about this before. I'm not a big Star Wars fan. This game had me interested right from the beginning when they showed it at the Xbox show. This looks good. I love the character. I think her name is Kay Vess, and then she has like a space axolotl companion, which is awesome. Uh, yeah, there was a lot in what they showed for this game that I was very impressed by. This is made by Ubisoft Massive, which is the same team that makes like the Division. I want to say, yeah, yeah. So I'm very excited. It's a single player game. I doubt that there will be much of those like loot mechanics. This looks like just a big open world adventure game that you're just playing.
This,
You're essentially playing a Han Solo like character. It appears.
yeah, this very much looks like what I expected the Amy Hennig game to be
Yeah.
when she was making a Star Wars game. Another thing, I really hope they just avoid Jedi altogether in this game because I feel like it would give it like kind of a unique feel. Because
Hmm.
like I don't know that we've ever had a Star Wars game without a Jedi in it somewhere, right?
I feel like the guy that so the Xbox trailer, I feel like the guy that was in the cockpit of her ship was a Jedi. I don't know.
Damn.
He looked like
I
he had
hope
the
I
robes on.
I hope not because I think it'd be really cool because like Star Wars makes it so clear that Jedi are rare in that universe, right?
But they pop up
Um,
everywhere. Yeah.
but they pop up in everything. So like it would
Hmm.
make more sense to come out with especially a game like this where clearly like I don't know what her role is. Like is she just like a ravager, like whatever the fuck she does? Um it's a heist game, right? Is essentially what they
Hmm.
said. Like she's pulling off the ultimate heist. It would make sense that she doesn't see a Jedi the whole game, I think. Um
Especially with the placement of this in the timeline, because it's between the fifth and sixth movies. Which one's that? Empire and Return of the
Empire Strikes
Jedi.
Back. Or no. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Empire
Return
Strikes
of the
Back and
Jedi.
Return of the Jedi. It takes place in between those. So yeah, at this time the only like Jedi around would be Luke. So that we know of, I guess. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I don't know. It'd be
It
weird.
looked good though. I'm very excited for this.
What I
Uh
would be down for, what I would be down for is to see a Jedi in passing somehow.
like
Like
he's in hiding and you just kind of walk by him.
like maybe we see an old Cal Kestis because he would be old in that game.
Would he be old?
Yeah. Because
Okay.
think about it, because he was young when Order 66 happened, when they were killing all the Jedi. That's his
Yeah.
whole story. So he
But I
would be
feel
old.
he's like growing up. He'd probably be like 40s maybe.
Yeah, I mean, he'd be a lot older than he is in the games.
Would he though? I don't know. Okay, but I'm not gonna argue timelines with you because I don't know. You are probably right on this. This is just me talking out of my ass, I guess. All right. Next up, Assassin's Creed Mirage. This is a more classic Assassin's Creed experience. It's not the giant RPG that we've seen with Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla. This is going back to its roots. Game looked fine. It looked like those classic games, and that's really all I've got for it. I'll play it because I like Assassin's Creed, but I'm not necessarily like pumped for it.
It's only a $40 game.
Oh, really? I missed that.
Yeah,
That is that's interesting. I that I didn't
I'm
see
gonna
that one
verify
coming.
that.
Okay, yeah, do that because that feels like a not Ubisoft move.
Yeah, because the deluxe edition is $60.
Wow. That's
for
crazy.
PS5. Yeah. So I mean, that's kind of telling everything you need to know,
It's
right?
gonna be a short game,
Yeah.
also.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yep. Okay. Well, that's fine. There was also some other Assassin's Creed stuff. There was a VR game called Assassin's Creed Nexus where you can play as Altair and Cassandra, which are like two of the most popular assassins, and then Connor, who is the least popular assassin. I was like, why are they throwing him in there? That didn't make sense
Dude,
to me.
that literally looks like a throw up simulator. Like
Right.
that's one thing I would never want to play.
No. No, fuck that. And then there was the Assassin's Creed mobile game. I think it was just called Codename Jade, where they gave no information on it except pre-register for it. So I was like, why? Um, but yeah, I think that was it for Assassin's Creed. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown got another look at it. This is a game that we talked about last week because it was revealed at Summer Game Fest, but we saw a new gameplay trailer for Ubisoft. This game looks good. It's not really like latching on to me like this is a game I have to play right away. But if I see it on sale in the future, I'll probably give it a try.
I'm not a Prince of Persia guy. Never played a game,
Me
so I
either.
don't really have like the nostalgia that some people have for the IP.
I played the 360 one, and
Sands of
and this is
Time.
no, it's just
I don't know which one it is.
it was just called Prince of Persia. That was it. Sands of Time was like PS1, I want to say.
Oh, maybe that is that the one that they were supposed to be remaking,
Yeah,
and
that's
then
the
they
one
just
that they're just like restarting it or
yeah
something.
that they took pre-orders for, and then months
Mhm.
later they just took down all the listings for it.
They're like, psych. Yeah.
You thought
Uh, Probably the oddest thing from the Ubisoft forward because Ubisoft always has something weird in it. This year, they didn't show off anything new for Skull and Bones, which was supposed to release last year, and then they indefinitely delayed it again and gave it no release date here. They just said that there's a beta coming in the future.
a
They gave us a
beta,
C. Yeah,
a beta. Like keep in
this
mind, people played an alpha like 8 months ago. There was an alpha, a closed alpha, and now they're coming out with a closed beta. This is
yeah,
crazy.
but they gave us a sea shanty, which was fine. It wasn't necessarily anything great, but yeah, it
They gave
that
us a
was
sea shanty and then announced a closed beta.
yeah,
It's
that
that's
was
wild.
so weird. I have no idea why they just no gameplay at all. That was ridiculous to me. But yeah, those were like the big notables for me from Ubisoft forward. I can't think of anything else. There was like a Division mobile game that I'm like
I'll
not
try it
interested.
out just because I like the division a lot.
Yeah,
And it's a free to play mobile game, so why not?
I've
Bust out
been
the Razer
wondering.
Kishi and try it out.
I've been wondering, like, what happened to the Division Heartland? I want to say. I think that was like a free to play Division game that they've been working on. That just hasn't been shown at all.
They talked about it at the last Ubisoft thing on I think it's like the Division Day or something like that.
Hmm.
They announced like more Division 2 content and then talked about that a bit. I don't know
Gotcha.
exactly what the status is, but I know they talked about it.
Gotcha.
Um, I'm also interested in the new Crew game. I don't know. I just like racing games, and the Crew seems interesting.
My thing. Okay, so I played the first Crew, and I was very excited for it to come out, and then it came out, and I was like, "This is just fine." I never played the second one, but I was kind of disappointed that they took out like the planes and boats for this new one. It's just cars. So I was like,
Yeah,
oh, that kind of sucks. It did look fine, and it's not like going across the entire United States anymore. It's like just Hawaii, right? I want to say it was Hawaii.
I don't remember exactly where it was. The other one that is intriguing to me is X Defiant, which is like a competitive, free to play shooter, which is kind of combining a bunch of Ubisoft's IP, like Rainbow Six Siege, probably the Division, I imagine.
Hmm.
I don't know what else is in there, but I'm interested to give that a shot.
That's another game that I've heard it talked about. I don't think I've actually looked at gameplay for it. I think they had like betas and stuff. That's one that that is coming out. It's releasing this summer. When it comes out, I'll give it a try because it's a free to play game, and it's gonna have to catch me then. Outside of that, I'm not necessarily excited for it, but
The the
maybe I'll be surprised.
factions the factions are Libertad from Far Cry, Phantoms, which I want to say that's Ghost Recon,
Sounds like it.
Echelon, which is from Splinter Cell, Cleaners, which is from Rainbow Six Extraction. It looks like, and then
No,
Dead.
Cleaners was a division.
Is that Division?
Yeah,
Then what is Phantoms? Hold on. These X Ghosts. So yeah, Ghost Recon, and then DeadSec, which is Watchdogs.
cool.
So,
Where,
interesting.
where's the assassins?
That's what I'm saying. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I mean, but then it's like, are we making guns canon in Assassin's Creed
Well,
lore?
they are canon.
They are a canon.
They are just pull out a giant cannon, light it up.
Yeah.
You have to go through the whole process of like putting in the gunpowder and then packing it in, putting in the cannonball.
The ultimate spawn camper. Just you gotta
Yeah,
hide. Let's move on to the quick news, John. I'll read these since you read all this past stuff. McDonald's just released a Game Boy Color ROM on the internet called Grimace's Birthday. Any idea what this is?
it's Grimace's birthday. Popular McDonald's character Grimace.
Okay.
I've got nothing else to say about that. Yeah, it's like his 52nd birthday. And why is Grimace making a comeback lately? And
Dude,
I
well,
don't
hold on. They got a Grimace birthday meal at McDonald's? They got a purple
guess
shake?
they do. Oh, I missed that.
What the hell?
I've just there was something else I saw Grimace appear in lately, and I was like, why is he there? Why are they making such a big deal about him all of a sudden?
All,
Oh,
all of a sudden, everybody cares about Grimace.
I know. Where's the Hamburglar?
Yeah. Moving on, Phasmophobia is coming to consoles in August. I believe it's crossplay. It's
It
coming to
is.
Xbox Series XS and PS5 and PSVR 2 compatibility on the PS5, which is awesome.
That's really
Um,
cool. I hope this ends up on Game Pass. I don't know if I want to buy it on Xbox, but I would definitely play it with like you and Will.
yeah, yeah. I mean, to be fair, it's not a very expensive game. I think it's like $20 retail.
Mhm.
At least it was on PC. So, yeah, not a very expensive game. Cool game to play with friends for sure.
Yeah, it's
Um,
it's one of those horror games that you and I can handle, and I think that gives it a good track record, right?
Yeah, and I can handle it in VR. Granted, I would never play it without friends. That game scares the shit out of me in VR too.
Hmm.
Cause like there are times when the ghosts come in, doors get locked, you can't hear anything, can't see anything. It's terrifying.
Yeah, yeah.
High
No,
on
I've had
Life,
that.
High on Life is getting a DLC called High on Knife because why would it be called anything else?
Right. Yep.
Um, Titanfall 3 was in development for 10 months before Respawn shifted to Apex Legends. Game wasn't revolutionary enough to continue. I mean, I could see that in terms of like the multiplayer aspect of it, right? Because
Hmm.
like Titanfall 2's multiplayer is as good as Titanfall multiplayer I think could probably get. Um, it's just like that's not why most people want Titanfall 3. Most people want Titanfall 3 is for the story because I know a lot of people love the story of Titanfall 2, the
They want
campaign.
they want Titanfall 3 because it's more Titanfall 2, and them hearing stuff like this like totally goes against that. So that kind of sucks. Um, yeah.
Embracer is focused on making Lord of the Rings one of the biggest gaming franchises. Well, they're off to a very, very bad start with
Oh,
Gollum.
yeah. I hope that they put out some good stuff. There have been quite a few really good Lord of the Rings games, and I'm a massive fan of the series. So I hope they get it turned around. But yeah, Gollum is not it.
It's not even close to being it, John.
It no, it's bad.
The first Overwatch 2 story missions will cost $15.
Yep. So it's on August 10th, I want to say, is the start of season 6. And with that, they're putting out the first story missions there's 3 of them. Takes place in Canada, Rio de Janeiro, and Gothenburg. Um, yeah. So
It's included with Game Pass though, right? What? Sorry.
No, it's not.
I thought it said that you can get them on Game Pass.
If it did, I missed that. But no, I don't believe it is.
Hold on, I'm looking.
Cool. Yeah, of course, the Overwatch community is mad that they have to pay for this, but I always assumed that the PvE content would be paid for whenever it came out. It does kind of suck though because it's coming out in waves like this. So like when the next one comes out, it'll be like another $15 on top of the battle pass and everything. So it's like how many of these are we going to get is like if you're doing this like every other season, like is that gonna it's like I feel like that's too much to ask of people, but if you're giving us it like one time a year, that's not enough. So it's going to
Yeah.
be really tough for them to find the right balance there, I think.
Let me read this paragraph from news.xbox.com. Overwatch 2 Invasion brings new story missions, a new season of content to unlock, an all new PvP core game mode, new ways to build on your skills with your favorite heroes, a brand new support hero, and more. And if you have Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, you'll be able to unlock all Overwatch 2 heroes when you pick up the Overwatch 2 New Hero Starter Pack, included as part of Game Pass Ultimate perks at the start of Overwatch 2 Invasion on August 10th.
Yep. That is not the story missions. That's
That's so confusing.
that's the I want they showed a thing during their trailer that said like unlock it lets you unlock Sojourn, Junker Queen, Kiriko. It lets you unlock all the characters that have been brought to Overwatch 2 so far that if you haven't bought the battle passes already, you can just buy that and get all of them. That's what it's talking about.
Gotcha. That's just a very confusing way of saying all that in the same paragraph.
Yeah.
Because it leads
The
people to think that they're getting it for free.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are mad about the pricing on the story missions being $15. I'm kind of like whatever, that's fine. The thing that's interesting though is like a legendary skin in that game costs $19. So you're like telling me that this actual content in the game that I'm gonna go back to and play with friends is cheaper than
Less.
one legendary sin. Yeah.
Yeah. Next thing, John, do you really want to play Squirrel with a Gun?
Yes. Have you seen this?
No, I've not. I'm watching it right
Oh,
now on the
fire it
podcast.
up, baby.
It's up. I
So
see an agent. He's running into a room with a squirrel.
yes, it's literally just a squirrel, a normal squirrel walking around with guns that are way too big for it, just blasting everyone away. And I really want to play this. It's one of those like really stupid but looks fun games.
Is there like gameplay in here? Oh shit, there is. Holy fuck. That squirrel has a gun. That's a Glock.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh my
that's a squirrel
god.
with a gun, all right. And he can like use it to like jump
Launch
up
up.
buildings and stuff. He like picks up a full shotgun and just blasts things away, and it sends
This
him flying backwards. This game
I
looks
I
outrageous.
I love how shitty it looked. Like this looks like if I really wanted to make this game, I could have probably made it in like a year's time. Just trying to learn how to use all the programs.
Yeah, I I cannot under exaggerate how much I want this game.
I love it.
Absolutely
John,
insane.
what have you been playing?
So I've been playing Diablo 4. I just
Nice.
finished Act 1 last night. I actually haven't been playing as much as I thought I would be, partly because I've been mostly playing solo. I played with my friend Jake last night for a while, though. That's why I'm only through Act 1. I'm like level 22, 21, somewhere around there. But I'm enjoying it. I don't really think the story has fully caught me, but I didn't really expect it to. This is just one of those games that I can mindlessly get into for a while, like put on a podcast or something and just blast away enemies while I grind away and get new gear and level up.
Yeah, it's definitely that kind of game. I've been playing it a lot as well. I just finished Act 3 on Sunday night, I think. Maybe it was last night. I honestly don't remember. But I finished Act 3, and that's where I left off. The story, I don't know. The story's fine. Like, it's nothing crazy cool. But the Lilith cutscenes are just so fucking cool to
Oh,
watch.
they're really cool. Yeah,
I look forward to
she
those every time they
she
come
looks
up.
so bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited to play more of that game. I'll probably beat it next week sometime. Because, like I said, I'm going out of town this weekend, so I really won't have
Mhm.
time to play any games.
Yeah.
But
Uh,
yeah,
I've also been playing more Tears of the Kingdom. I think I've gotten all of the light roots from the deaths, which took a good few hours. I just put on. I've been watching a lot of Modern Family on Peacock, so I've just had that on in the background while I was like playing in handheld mode. So I just like took a few hours to just like explore the entire deaths area, which is tough at some points. But I made an air bike, which is one control stick and two fans, and you connect them together so that when you jump on it, it just like flies you around really quickly. That was a great
nice.
way to find all of those. So I was happy with that. Now I I still need to get the last few shrines. I want to say I have like 10 left. And I'm really having a hard time finding them. So I think I'm gonna finally pull up a guide and look for the missing ones because it's getting to the point where I'm looking everywhere and I'm not finding them. So I'll probably do that to finish off the shrines, and then I'll also go in and do all of the side quests before I call it quits for a while. I I just love this game. Like uncontested game of the year for me. That's it. That's all I have to say.
Cool. Yeah, I got to get back to it. I kind of put it down for a while just with being busy, and then Diablo 4 has kind of taken over my game time.
Uh-huh.
Um, Another game I played is Final Fantasy 16. Beta went up yesterday, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about 2 hours long, and your progress carries over to the full game. And this game is awesome so far. Um,
Yeah.
the story is just really fucking cool. Like, if you're gonna play the beta, make sure you play the whole beta, because is it a beta? I don't even know what to call it. It's a demo.
Just a
Demo.
demo.
Yeah,
Demo.
I
Yeah.
keep calling it beta out of habit, I guess. But yeah, if you're gonna play the demo, make sure you play through the whole demo, because the story that is shown in that demo alone has me so intrigued to play the rest of this game. This is one of those games where, like, I know I like Final Fantasy games, so I kind of just like haven't really followed it, because it's like, yeah, I'll play it when it comes out, right? Like, I kind of went on blackout where, like, I don't really care too much about it before it comes out because I know I'm gonna play it anyway. And man, this demo was fucking great. Um, Graphically, this has to be one of the prettiest games on the PlayStation 5.
Cool.
It's really beautiful. I don't know. I think the best way to put it is here. Chad sent me a text earlier. Let me try and find his description.
Okay.
1 second. 1 second.
While you're looking that up, how long was the demo?
It's about 2 hours to beat,
Okay.
and there's really no room to like get lost or anything to make it like a 5 hour demo.
Hmm.
It's pretty linear for what the demo is.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm trying to find. Fuck, where is his text? Sorry. Basically, he said, "Oh, here." He said Final Fantasy 16 feels like it's going to be Game of Thrones cross Final Fantasy. And that's like how it feels so far, which is really cool,
That
because I
does
love
sound
Game of
cool.
Thrones and I love Final Fantasy.
It is cool that they're like going back to a fantasy setting, because for a long time it's kind of been like I don't know what to call it, like grungy kind of like Final Fantasy VII is like more futuristic.
Yeah, it's like yeah, like I guess a grungy futuristic,
Hmm.
like dystopian future in a way. It
Yeah.
feels like, if like, I don't know. It feels like something that situations that could be real in our lives had like two things changed in history, right? Like something weird.
Hmm.
But yeah, Final Fantasy 16 demo is really fucking cool. John, you got to try it out. Even though I know you probably have no interest in Final Fantasy 16, um, I think that you
Okay.
playing this demo might turn you around,
All right.
or at least
Well,
might get you to play more of it because I'll probably be pre-ordering it. Henceforth, you'll
okay.
be able to play it as well.
All right. Cool.
Um, yeah, well, that is going to end episode 233 of the Pixel Street podcast. We're right at an hour. How about that?
Hell yeah.
As always, follow us on Twitter at Pixel Street. Check out the pinned tweet where you can join all of our social media platforms, including Discord. There's an invite link in that pinned tweet. Come say hi. Come check out my Bonnaroo pictures I'm going to be posting this weekend. You can find me on Twitter at Campo63 or twitch.tv/Campo63. Also, youtube.com/Pixel Street Videos. That's where we post all our videos, stream the podcast live, where you can watch, just like Brandon Addison has been today, and usually every week. He's on here talking in the chat. So come
That's my
hang out.
boy.
John, where are you at on them there internets?
On Twitter, you can find me at RevX Shadows, and you can find my writing on GameSandwich.com. Go check out my Clockwork Revolution feature I put up today.
Cool. We will be right back here next week for episode 234 of the Pixel Street podcast.
Bye.